Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm going to be Lindsay today. She's not feeling well, so she won't be on the call.
Oh no.
Good
Yeah.
Good
morning.
morning.
How's everybody doing? Everybody have a good week?
Yes, I'm having a good week going off to the mountains on the weekend, so excited for that.
Nice. Mountains, where at?
Banff,
Where's that?
Alberta. I'm from Canada,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. So I'm up
Nice.
in I'm like an hour and a half away from Banff. You've never heard of Banff before?
I haven't, no.
It's a nice place. You should definitely check it out one day.
It's on my bucket list. Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Ravi, Anna, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Lindsay reached out a day or two ago, and she's I think she said she's just really sick, not feeling well, and so we're just going to be us this week. So I'm just getting back. Did Ryan, Anna, Ravi, were you guys on last week's call?
I watched it. I wasn't on though.
Good. Yeah, we were on vacation, so I just got home Tuesday of this week with the family. So getting back into it.
Vacation was good.
Yeah, it was good. We went to Hawaii. It was all of our first time, my wife's first time, my first time, the kids.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was my son's birthday and then Mother's Day, so kind of
Cool. What
knocked
city?
we were in on Oahu Island in Honolulu.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Beautiful weather. It was good to, slow down and just be away for a little bit. I mean, I was still working, but
I was gonna say, were you actually able to?
yeah. It was good because the time difference is 3 hours behind what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
So while while people are still are in the middle of working, I'm kind of getting up and getting ready and sending emails and calls. So it kind of worked out excuse me, really well actually. But it was nice. The weather was beautiful. My son, it was his 8th birthday, so he was super excited to be gone and away rather than just have a birthday party at the house. But yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, I had a couple things to bring up today, but I wanted to start everybody out with some wins of the week or anything that anybody had happen, whether good or bad, or coming up this next week that anybody want to talk about or ask questions or go from there.
Yeah, I didn't join last week. I think the past couple of weeks I couldn't able to join this class. The one thing that I decided was, I stopped looking into California market because I don't think I'm going to cash flow.
Yeah.
It's the market is not good here. So I'm started looking at, where I invested first, right? Denison. I started looking into Denison area, and another place I'm interested is Ocala in Florida.
Okay.
So these are the two places I'm building my buy list. Um,
How did you pick Florida out there? How did you pick that market?
I've been there once.
Okay.
Actually, a friend of mine, he has a properties in what is it? Uh, um, in the coastal area, he has some properties. I'm forgetting the place name. And
Is
then
he local to there, or he just owns from out of state?
no, he lives in California.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a few properties there. And he told me about Ocala because the reason I like that place is, it's a interior place. It's not close to the coast, and hurricane. This is most of the 19% of the time, all the hurricanes doesn't touch that area.
Okay.
So I know that a lot of that was my first trip to Florida. We went to the town and we looked around. It's a pretty big town, like there are a lot
Yeah.
of places, a lot of big farms are there. Um, so I'm looking into it. Yeah,
Good.
those two areas.
Yeah, I think it's always good to bridge and connect with people that are already have boots on the ground out there because you can use their resources, their
Yeah.
knowledge, their
Yeah.
team, maybe their crew, and utilize their what they already built, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I
Awesome.
will after listening to Lindsay's uh, the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Where she gave the interview to Bigger Pocket guys. Like, I might look into Gary, Indiana area
Mhm.
also. Yeah, I will see.
Yeah. Lindsay's got a heavy presence in Gary, and her team and community out there is pretty big. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. Well, Mr. Steven from Canada, I don't think we've met before. Is this your first time on the call?
Yes, first time on call, man. Hold on, let me try to turn on my camera.
Oh,
What's
you're
up?
good. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
I'm actually just outside my shop. I'm waiting for my client to come. I thought I
Okay.
had a little bit of time, just waiting for him to come in. So thought first time here, so I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just if you got a minute, if you want to just introduce yourself and tell us what you have going on.
I'm 23 years old. I cut hair for a living, and I came across a book called, I think a lot of people came across it, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mhm.
Just hearing cash flow and kind of like this passive income kind of just replace my living expenses. And in case I get sick one day, I can't make money because the thing barbering is like, if I'm not in the shop, I'm not going to be making money. And
Mhm.
I feel it in my hands some days. And I'm like, man, 10 more years, I'm not going to be able to flick this wrist no more. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, let's try to find some passive income, man. And I actually saw Lindsay on the Real Estate Rookie Bigger Pockets
Oh
podcast.
yeah.
And I just emailed her and she just gave me a rundown of what she's doing and kind of what she's been up to and the groups that she's in. And I saw that she was in ORAAT, one rental at a time, and I'm like, I want to check this out. And so far so good, man. It's like I'm surprised how like connected this whole group is, and it's
Yeah.
great, man. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you for joining. That's really a good starting foundation for you, and I hope to have
Yes.
you on all the calls. And you'll definitely learn and get some value from everybody in here, and grow from there.
you
So
said
my
you are from
guy,
Canada, Steve?
yeah, Canada, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, Calgary. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard of Calgary before?
Yeah, I've been there once on my way to Regina, place called Regina, right? So
Saskatchewan. Yeah.
yeah, so I've been there once.
Nice. Have you been up to Banff when you got into Calgary here?
No, I just only in the airport, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but someday I will visit there. Yeah, it looks cool place. Yeah.
it
Is
is.
Banff an abbreviation for something, or is that what it's called?
No, that's what it's called. It's a little town up in the mountains, and it's like I've never. It's like I'm surprised you had never heard about it. It's like this
Never
like
heard of it.
there's a lake near Banff that's super famous in the world. It's called Lake Louise, and it's like literally blue glacier water, and it's like
Oh,
these big mountains overlooking it, and it's amazing stuff. You should definitely Google it, man.
it's cold up there.
Summertime it gets warmer, but yeah, wintertime definitely gets pretty chilly up there. Like upwards of, I'm Canadian, so I work in Celsius, so it's
Uh,
minus 30 Celsius. So
Ooh.
yeah,
you lost me there.
yeah,
Yeah, the cold areas I'm not really familiar with. Try to stay. I'm from California, so I try to stay where it's nice and sunny.
I
Dude,
think
minus 30 Celsius, isn't it like minus 20 Fahrenheit? So it's cold as hell.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
like,
That's yeah.
it's not just kind of cold. It's like you walk out without layers, you're cooked. It's cold.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've never seen minus. I don't think I've been in minus before. I don't think so. So I
Wow.
don't know what that's like. Yeah.
I think every time I talk to anybody from down south, they're like, you're crazy. You live up in Canada. You're like, how do you guys go outside? And I'm like, it's not that bad once your body gets used to it. But once it reaches like minus 40, your eyelashes start to like freeze, and it's like kind of yeah.
No, I'll stay in California.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, good. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and good to have you on. And definitely
Yeah.
connect with any one of us. Everybody's more than happy to help out whenever they can or however they can. So
Sweet. Excited. I have a guy in about 20 minutes, so I might have to leave the call a little bit early. Yeah.
It's all good. We're good to have you on for a couple minutes. It's all good. Appreciate you for
Awesome.
introducing yourself.
Awesome, man.
Well, yeah. Anybody else have anything? Wins, losses, anything from this week or next week coming up? Mr. George, you got anything?
Wins or losses? No losses. I bought a foreclosure in Tennessee by mistake.
By mistake.
Yep.
Do you mind sharing about that?
I I mean, it was 30,000. So I didn't realize that I had bid on it.
Oh.
I just went on. I usually use auction.com to go see what's available and stuff. So I went on there and I don't know what I was thinking, but I guess I bid on it and I didn't think about it. And I did no research on this particular property or anything. And
what city?
It's in Tennessee. I can't remember the address. It's not in a great area, but it's like I didn't. You're not gonna believe this, dude. I'm happy that it was a $30,000 mistake and not like a 300,000 or something.
Yeah.
Major money, but I don't know what I was thinking. I was doing like 10 different things, and I walked away from my computer, and I must have placed a bid. I don't know if you guys are familiar with auction.com, but you can just place. You know what I mean? Once you're registered, you can bid. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but anyway, I bought a property in Tennessee, so we'll see.
Wow. Okay. Well, if
worst case scenario, man, I'll throw a sign on it and sell it. It's got to be, be worth more than 30. I was actually looking in that area. I've only got, well, I don't have any anymore. I used to have single families, but I put ADUs on all of them. So I don't really have single family, even my own primary residence. I've got, I built a second unit in it behind it. But I was looking at single families out there or buying bigger buildings, and so I'm lost, man. I'm so, to be honest with you, lazy about this right now that I don't need to grow my portfolio, but I know I should, and so I'm dipping my toes in, and I'm trying to find out what a good area would be to start investing, either in small little under $100,000 houses, or buy maybe something like a 6 to 10 unit, 12 unit building. Not something too big, because then you end up babysitting those buildings. You know what I mean? They're just, to me anyway, it's just high school. When you have that many people, you get a whole bunch of personalities and stuff, and I'm not into dealing with that. So we'll see. Maybe I'll use this one as a guinea pig and see how it goes. But yeah, I don't even know. I mean,
once you figure out the city, Jesse reached out and said, let him know. I also have a pretty decent sized community in Tennessee as well.
Where?
Clarksville or the Nashville area. If it's in those, I have some buyers. What's that?
You like that area?
Clarksville, yes, I do.
What do you like about it?
Yeah. So Clarksville, it's going to be a suburb like outside of Nashville, or Nashville. I like targeting these satellite suburbs right outside the major, their major metropolitan, just because it's kind of, you're familiar with our area, George. You're getting like the Fairfield Vacaville's, you're getting these satellite cities, from the area that people are kind of migrating out to, which are still good incomes and all that. But I like targeting those in those areas because you tend to get better tenants.
Are you in single families or multi units?
I have everything. I have a single family.
Single family?
Yeah, everything. I have a single family. Yep.
Jesse, what part of Tennessee are you in? Clarksville as well. Yeah. So single families and 1 to 4 units. So I've got about 30 units out in Clarksville.
Wow.
So I do like the area. I do like Clarksville. There's just a lot of growth. That's why I like it. And then I'm also in Chattanooga as well.
There you go.
What's the price points out there?
There's your buyer right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's gone up. Things have gone up. I mean, are you looking to buy or are you looking to sell when you're asking price point?
I'm not selling anything. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I bought a $30,000 foreclosure by mistake. So what?
Yeah, I mean, I like to aim for I like distressed property. About 8 months ago, I bought with a couple partners. We bought 13 houses in Clarksville for 500,000. So that
Was
was
that a
what
was that
40,000 a
a
unit or so, and we had to put in probably 70,000 on each house.
70,000?
Yeah, they're very
So
heavy.
to rehab them?
Yeah, oh yeah, pretty much gut rehab them all.
Oh, wow.
What are those rents pulling in on those? Because you're into them about 120. What are you getting on those?
Yeah, we're getting about that much right now.
What's that much rent wise?
About 1,200 to 1,400 each house.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good ROI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennessee has good taxes too.
Yeah, good taxes, low insurance,
Yeah.
easy to evict people. There's no
Yeah.
sales tax, on right purchases, so that helps, when you're doing a large rehab.
How did you end up getting that batch of properties?
A friend of mine was looking around and he found
Okay.
something. Um,
So it was like from another owner that decided to get out of the business, or
well, no, it was bank owned
oh,
and
okay,
literally it
okay.
was
So
just
it was
found
a bank,
online.
but like a
And
portfolio or something?
what's that?
Was it a bank owned that was a
Yes.
portfolio of the bank?
Yeah, it was a portfolio.
Okay.
Exactly.
What's the
Wow.
ARV on those? Like when you go to refinance, what are they?
That's what we're doing right now, and I think it's gonna be 2.5.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
There you go.
smokes.
So
Yeah.
you're in it 1.5 or so, and
I would say 1.2.
oh, 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to cash out or just rate and term that?
We're gonna cash out our funds and do it again.
Yeah. Burr.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
The
what.
hardest thing I've found out is estate investing.
Yeah.
I've been doing this about 25 years and
Mhm.
I live in California and I own a lot of property here. Out of state, I've owned for, I don't know, 15, 20 years and it's a roller coaster. You just don't make the appreciation. So I guess it depends
Mhm.
what your outlook is. That's the hardest thing I've found. If you're just for cash flow, it's can be good. But I have some in Tennessee. That's pretty good buys you got there.
Yeah.
Where in Tennessee are you, Josh?
Trying to think of this is a funny thing. I sold a property in California 20 years ago, 1031, and bought 10 out of state with that. I never
How
stepped
did you
foot
do
on.
that?
It was a lot of work. It was it was a condo, and there was a guy by the name of Marshall Reddick years ago who had seminars, and I would go to him, and he had agents on the ground in different states. So I started looking into that, and just found a guy that was dealt with some property managers, some real estate agents. So, so anyways, I sold a property here in California. I didn't want to pay the taxes and I 1031 that. And I was at that time, you could get loans really easy, 10% down. They'd have a 10% second. So I did that and split that money up over 10 properties: South Carolina, Texas, Austin, Memphis, South
Oh,
Carolina.
wow.
So yeah, it was an adventure. I have the only states I'm left in would be Tennessee and Texas. So but yeah, I do like Tennessee. If I were going to move my money from Texas, which I've been thinking about doing, it would be maybe Tennessee
Yeah.
or Ohio possibly. I just had no
Yeah.
luck in Texas.
Jesse, how did you pick Tennessee from starting out? I know you said you have about 30 there now.
Yeah, I think like a lot of stories I've heard, it's been through connections. So,
So where are you located?
yeah, I mean, I'm based out of Seattle and I
Okay.
actually work in California. So, I'm getting hit everywhere.
Yeah.
But, but, I knew there was a small investor group here about 4 or 5 years ago, and people were met, every month, and we started talking about where are people going. and with the most success. And Tennessee, particularly Clarksville, had the best property manager and contractors. So I just kind of followed the herd. But I've continued. I noticed a lot of people over the years have gotten shiny object syndrome and go every different place. I've stayed year after year after year. And
You ever go
so
over
I've,
there?
what's that?
You ever go visit, check out the
Yeah, I
property?
go about once a year to
Yeah.
go visit. And with these properties now that we've bought, I visited those as well. I'll go back again this summer. So yeah,
Nice.
try to go back regularly. Just to meet with the property managers, check in with the contractors, all of that. And then others that I know that have invested in their areas, I'll go drive by their houses as well.
So do you guys do, I mean, obviously this portfolio you had, you either was whoever was finding it was a realtor or you guys did it owner, but do you use a realtor out there at all, or how do you guys
Yeah, it started with we were connected. So somebody else that I knew had a realtor that was also a property manager. So it started kind of with her. And pretty much most everything that I get, I'll just call her after every so often when I'm looking. I'm saying, hey, send me something good. And since I've worked with her for so long, she knows my buy box. She'll send me stuff. She knows I'm gonna close. So I've gotten a number of deals from her that have fallen out of contract. So she'll reach out and say, hey, can you close on this? And I'm like, yep, looks good.
nice.
So I get a lot of, and that's why, I've just gone deeper because I talk to her pretty regularly. And I have another one in Chattanooga that I also talk to. So they'll just send you stuff after a while if they get used to you. And because the first stuff I was buying probably was more retail. But I started getting all the good stuff later and it's just continued.
Yeah, that's huge. Making connections with people that are out there and can give you deals, and then once you close that first one, they know you're reliable and they're good. They start throwing you deals. You'll be the first call that they make. That's huge. Yeah, Clarksville's somewhere I've been that's been on my list that I want to start buying in. We actually market some of our paper leads to Clarksville, so I've had some leads there, but I haven't closed on anything in Clarksville yet. But
Well,
now I
send
know
me
who to reach out
stuff.
to.
Send me stuff in Clarksville. I'll look at it.
Yeah. Good. And you have a team, or you use a property manager, right? You said?
Yeah, I use a property manager out there. Contractor has been a little iffy out there. I actually brought the contractor I use in Chattanooga up to work on this 13 unit project.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got my contractor is more reliable in Chattanooga, but he will travel for me.
How far are those two apart?
They're I think 2.5, 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Sounds like, Steven, you get to see a lot of experienced people with a lot of units and that are doing it, from satellite areas.
Hey, this is awesome. I was, when I was first looking out of state, my first research place was actually Memphis, Tennessee. But then, I think I was just rushing it too much, but I was just looking at it. But then I kind of just like stepped away just because I saw how much crime was down there. I think they're ranked like 20th in the world or something like that with most dangerous city. But no, it's cool that it sounds like you guys are definitely heavily invested down in Tennessee. That's awesome.
Yeah, crime is a really interesting topic when going out of state. When you're in these a lot of these sub 120 markets, you're gonna find pockets that are terrible. That's why it's good to have people in that community that can tell you where to invest in. I'm in Montgomery, Alabama, but I only invest in 5 different zip codes out there of the 11. And I won't touch wholesalers, realtors, everybody knows my buy box. I won't touch anything in these certain zip codes. Don't even show me because I have one or been through something or heard something where I just don't want to deal with that. But you're going to get a lot of areas, a lot of pockets that are going to be heavily crime ridden. That's kind of the give and take with these sub 120 markets or so. But it's just knowing that area, doing your due diligence, your research. And then looking at where your potential markets are going to be.
Let's be honest, in this financial era that we're in right now, you're not gonna get fantastic properties in fantastic neighborhoods for a good price, those are all being gobbled up by retail people. You know, houses, or even here in the Bay Area, I've got good luck trying to pencil a fourplex or triplex out. They don't make any sense, but people are buying them either for the appreciation or to move into them themselves. And so that makes sense, but it blows investors out of the water. So unless you have a lot of patience and some serious money, you're going to probably run into an area that you don't necessarily want to invest in, but do the, you know, do a little bit more analysis and maybe even go and visit, because, you know, just I call you guys, the younger guys, spreadsheet warriors, man. There's more than just looking at things online. You know, I don't want to be mean, but human connection makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I see right now is all the young guys want to do everything through AI and spreadsheets and analysis. And there's a human behind all that stuff. As much as we want to, you know, make everything into boxes, there's people that are there. And even though the crime might be high, there's pockets in those areas that are good. And AI is good, but it isn't perfect yet. So you can't find those without having connections, or, you know, I don't know that you want to travel down there, but find other people that are already investing. They can tell you what's going on.
100%.
I don't want to insult anybody. I'm just saying that's just what I see right now. A lot of the young people, you know, Josh and Jesse, we've been around a little bit, so we remember where you actually had to do all this stuff yourself. And now it's very simple. You know, you can go in and get an app or just ask for the info, and most of it comes out. But there's more behind it if you want to, you know, long term. Anyway.
I have a question for. Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Oh no, I was just going back to what Jesse said on going down to the place, really getting a feel for the place. Although like I can chat GPT something and say if the zip code is good, but then if actually going down there and getting a feel for it, or having someone boots on the ground is definitely on my plan for sure. And would you say like definitely, like how would you go about getting someone boots on the ground? Would you have to go down to that state and really meet that person face to face, really gauge a feel for that person? And like that's the thing where I'm kind of stuck on, like how do you meet people?
Do you own many properties?
No.
Okay, well, I know how to cut hair, right? I've seen it. I'm 54, so I've gotten plenty of haircuts. So I know the process, but I don't know the technique. So unless I go to somebody who's doing it now, I'm gonna butcher it unless I buy a Flowbee, right? Or whatever those things were called back in the. So it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned, dude. And I'm pretty conservative with my ideas, but at your age, losing out on the deal without knowing the background of it and stuff is worth it. You should go down. I would lean in on Jesse and Josh that seem to have lots of properties in those states, and ask them questions. Hey, where do you guys think I should go? And then spend the money to make calls or Zoom calls with realtors that are in the area that look like they're moving income properties. And then same thing with if they have any contractors or anything, and go interview them, go drive the area, see what you think. I would do that as a young person, because you don't know what you don't know. So the more time you spend in the space, the better I think you're going to be able to win. It's going to be a slower process in the beginning. And like I said, spreadsheets make everything look instant, right? Like, oh, look, that cash flows. Okay, let's buy it. Cool. But you don't know what's going on. So I would think if you want to invest in a certain area at your age, I would do research, find people that are down there. And like I said, you've got 2 people right now, Josh, Jesse, and Lindsay. All of them have, in that state. So call them, say, hey, can I take 5 minutes of your time or whatever?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Steven, is start with connecting with other investors. Like start with because they're on the same wavelength as you. They're on the same path. They're going through the same things, or have gone through the same things as you. So start with that investor. Once you get out there. So I started actually with my cousin who was a realtor in Alabama. And that was kind of my boots on the ground. I trusted her. She wasn't trying to sell me a deal. It was just more or less she wanted to see me succeed, kind of thing. So that's how it started. And then it just took off. Like, once we got out there, but I didn't go out there till I owned probably 10 houses out there. I think it was my first time going. So, I think it was like 10. So, that was, having her on my team was good, and then finding a good contractor. But the hardest thing I think in this is finding a good team, is building that.
Hang on a second though, Lindsay. you already had property.
It's Vincent,
in
George. I'm on
California.
Lindsay's account.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Vincent, right?
Yeah.
Vincent, you already own property though.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and so you already knew the mechanics firsthand. And
From my
so
personal
with
use.
Steven, he's coming in fresh, right?
Yes.
So I don't, you had a cheat sheet to be able to get into 10, where I don't think he has that cheat sheet yet.
Well, when I say that, I mean I owned my personal residence prior to investing. Yes, I had my primary, but what I mean by that is that was how my connection was built. Was I was just like like I didn't have a community where I can call somebody and say, "Hey, you own 5 houses in Alabama. Tell me about them." Like I didn't have it, so my outreach to my first out of state was my cousin. So, like I said, she wasn't like a realtor just trying to sell me the first deal that she saw on the MLS. It was just more or less she wanted to see me succeed, and we were vetting out dozens of properties, and I had every reason not to buy. Right? You find one thing like, "Oh, I don't like that toilet. I'm not buying it." It's like now I don't. I'm buying them so easily now and different, but it just grows and evolves as you build your community. From that first initial conversation. But yeah, get with investors first. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think Steve, I mean, between George and Vincent, they've dropped a ton of great knowledge. I mean, I think the team thing and what worked for me, right? And I actually started investing 10 years ago, but that was locally in the Seattle area. And I understood, and I did a lot of REOs, and I could only do 1 or 2 a year just because it took forever. I hired a contractor. I knew what was involved. I knew if I wasn't there, things would not get done. So I understood that. So I think beyond it's not the numbers that really matter. What's going to matter at the end of the day is how the property is managed. So the property manager to me is the most important piece. If you don't have the right property manager, it will fail. And then also, if you're a brand new investor, and we all start that way, don't start with anything complicated. The only reason I bought REOs is I was local. I had a friend of mine that was in the space, and he wanted to help me get there. And I was still scared out of my mind. And this is like a $5,000 rehab, and I laugh at it today, but I was scared, right? And I was like, oh, is this going to even rent? So if I were you, I would start with the idea, find a good team first, validate that team, just get a property that you think will cash flow. Don't do any rehab. It's just simple because you don't want to
100%,
fail.
man. Take
Yeah.
that first property and learn. Forget about
Yeah.
anything else.
Don't
If you
fail on that first one
or
because you won't do a
fail,
second.
but fail small.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
Exactly. But
fail on a fourplex.
don't buy a
Yeah,
$40,000 house and spend 70 on a rehab because you haven't been there. Just buy something that's closer to turnkey with a team and try them out. If it doesn't work, sell it. You'll get most of your money back.
Yeah, and even if you don't, even if you lose a little bit of money,
Yeah.
the reality of it is you've got to be consistent, but take your time in the beginning. And I'm not saying, hey, pause it. No. Don't get crazy. Learn, absorb everything you can, buy one and move forward. And that neighborhood might not work out for you. You might sell it, you might lose some money. Who cares? Right? You're not going to stop in a year because whatever. You want to do this long term. So the first thing you need to do is be patient, take a small bite, find a play, even if it doesn't cash flow much, $100, whatever it is, buy a sound property, even if it's on retail, even if it's on the MLS and it's not the greatest deal. Don't be so concerned about that part. What you need is the reps.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I think it was Bruce Lee. Don't be afraid of the guy who can do 100 kicks. Be afraid of the guy who does one kick 100 times.
Yeah.
You got to be that one guy, man. But again, I'm not telling you to go slow. I'm telling you to be patient. And if you do that, you're going to create a very solid foundation to be able to, at that point, once your roots are in, then you can grow the tree out as tall as you want because you're going to be solid from the bottom. That's one of the things I see a lot of investors. They get very aggressive very quickly and they don't create a solid foundation and stuff falls apart. It can easily fall apart. I mean, even now, I've been doing it for 22 years. It can get hairy, man. There's some times when you're like, oh, crap. So, the more you're able to get more and more experience is the best thing to do. But like I said, man, be patient, be persistent, but don't be in a hurry.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think with my characteristics, like I've always been like an impatient person. I'm like, I get like that shiny object syndrome. I'm like, let me buy into that right away. Like I bought into like different mentorships that like are total scams before. So yeah, definitely I needed to hear that. Just like, sometimes just make sure I have all the foundation kind of set right and just make sure just have a good team, right? So that's
I think
definitely
one thing to add that a lot of people like oversee when doing this, a good understanding of how a house works is huge. So knowing that to replace an outlet, it should take them 20 minutes, whatever that is, or replace a whole HVAC system. Understanding the structure of a house, what everything does, what it is, what the normal kind of labor rates or labor times, or like the scope of the job, all those kind of things is something to really understand and get a good grasp on now. Because when you're calling your property manager and they're like, "Hey, it's going to cost you $1,000 to change this outlet," you're like, "The hell? Like, no, it shouldn't. It should be this or around this price, or I should, but they're just calling, they could call you, who knows what it is, what the scenario is, but just understanding things like that, because you are out of state, because you're not there, they know you're not there, so that's just one of those hidden things I think a lot of people overlook is not understanding the structure of that they're buying,
That's awesome, Vincent. My guy is actually waiting in the shop. He's been waiting for about
You're
10
good, dude.
now. I gotta head out, guys. It was actually like
All
this
right,
was
man.
so
Good
great.
luck. Hope you come
Have
back.
fun this weekend.
Okay, take care, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
I have a question to Jas. Hey, Jas, you mentioned that you want to move from Texas to Tennessee. Just wondering, like, why, you don't like Texas anymore? Any reason?
Yeah, it's the tax rates there are extremely high. And so cash flow, I mean, I've had mine so long and I bought them so low. I do cash flow, but it's definitely not where they should be. Where my property's in Memphis. That's actually couldn't remember earlier. Sorry, guys, I was just waking up. I'm on a 20-year anniversary, so I'm out here, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" But
Congrats.
so in Memphis, yeah, I've done. It's a good little pocket area where I can make good cash flow, good tax rates. I have a good management company, good contractors on the ground. So Texas just I get hammered with management and taxes. I mean, I close to paying those properties off, and even with right now my mortgages, which I have still low mortgages on them that are 3.75%, and my taxes and insurance together are more than my mortgage payments. So it's ridiculous.
You're in California, Josh?
I am, yeah.
What
In
part?
Riverside area outside of
okay.
LA. I don't know if any of you guys are
Yeah, I know
familiar with that.
Riverside. I used to live in Chino Hills.
Oh yeah, right around the corner. Yeah. I'm actually a general contractor, so that's been a blessing for me over the years is, kind of like you were saying, Lindsay, understanding, repairs and maintenance costs and things like that. I have a good beat on that. And, obviously I'd prefer to invest in my backyard, but which I do, but I haven't bought anything in a while. Just gotten difficult out here in Cali.
And Josh, I don't know if I introduced myself, but I'm Vincent. Actually, I'm just on Lindsay's account. She's
Oh,
the co-host. No, it's all good. She has the access to
sorry,
record,
bro.
so I just use her login when she's not. She's sick today, so.
Is that maybe that's what you were? I heard something, but I wasn't following, so my bad.
No, you're good. I don't know if anybody or it confused anybody else, but no, I just have the recording feature under.
We know you, Vincent. We know you.
Okay. Good. Lindsay's gonna laugh at this when she rewatches it.
She'll love
Jane?
it.
How are you?
I'm good. I think today's session is awesome. I'm just like a fly on the wall. I don't have anything. If I knew it was gonna be like this, I'd have my list, but I don't have anything. But that's awesome. Good seeing you, JJ.
Yeah.
So Jesse, what's next for you, sir? What do you guys have? I know you're rehabbing some properties right now. What's next for you on the horizon?
A realtor that I know in Clarksville, a different one. He found some off-market stuff, bank owned, so making an offer this weekend on some properties.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're kind of in a little they're a little rough. We'll need some work. So
Yeah.
Just we'll see. It's just an LOI at this point. I don't know if it'll go through. And I've been looking at just smaller duplexes in Chattanooga as well. But there's a lot more inventory I've noticed right now, but people aren't dropping as much as I would hope. They would drop right now. So I'm just gonna lowball it and see what happens.
Do you look on market or off market for your stuff? Just
both.
Yeah.
Both. I don't mind on market at all. Yeah, I don't mind on market.
Are you actually marketing out there, like sending mailers, calling?
Oh no, I don't do that. It's usually the realtor has something off market, or I'll see something on market that can't be financed right easily. So it just limits it to investors, and we're all coming in at pretty similar numbers. So I might go a little bit higher, just because I don't need to pull every dollar back out. So I'm not overly complicating what I do, because I've got a W-2, so I don't, and so I do try to hit a certain number of units every year. So if I'm trying to find the perfect one, I'm just not going to get stuff done. So I'd rather get something done that's gonna cash flow for sure. And if it doesn't get me all the value, I'm okay with that.
There you go. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I've gotten more picky of late. I think Zuber's comments that things change after 10 years are dead on, because I've kind of noticed that I've been investing now. It's been about 10 years and have stacked a good number of units, and it's definitely changing. So I'm becoming a little pickier, but I'm still making offers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Good.
So Josh, you're in Memphis, right? Because Steven, I think, was interested in Memphis.
Yeah, I have a few there.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank
I
you.
met Josh like on Sunday. Now I'm happy to see him on. So cool.
Oh, nice.
You guys have a lot of value. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have people with experience, 10, 20, 15 years in the game. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A lot of lumps, man. A lot of lumps.
Yeah. Shows that it works, but it's hard, and get through it. And obviously, you guys, it works, right? Awesome.
Someone was mentioned earlier, I think it was Jesse, about, I believe you were the one talking about your management company can make or break you. Was that you that was talking about that?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and I believe that's absolutely huge for newcomers or anybody at that. I always believe no one can manage a property like you will. So, but when it's out of state, I did try to manage mine for a while, and I did okay. It's just owning another business, it was harder. If I were to quit working, I would probably manage all mine full time myself. But these managers, they can really hammer you. And like Vincent was saying, if you don't know cost and things like that. So that's one thing I would say for newer people to really interview. And George
the other
was
problem with them is that, man, if you don't know what you're doing, they don't do anything, and you don't know that they're not doing anything. And then when you need them, they don't do what you need them to do. So you've just spent monthly payments on nothing. And they turn out to be useless because you don't know how bad they are until you need them, right? It's like a fire department. You don't know 100%. How good they are to put out a fire until they have to put out a fire. And so that's, to me, man, maybe I'm old school and I don't know what's going on. But personally, even if you're out of state, self-manage the first one, because how are you going to manage somebody if you don't know what they're supposed to be doing, right? That's my biggest thing always. It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can come in fresh and without a lot of luck be able to properly figure out what is supposed to happen. So anyway, that's just
we truly are in the management business, because if you can't manage properties, you're not going to make it. So I think learning to manage is one of the first key things to really learn and understand. And so I see a lot of guys do it backwards. They buy a property that barely cash flows, and that manager will just eat them alive.
That's what happening for me.
I think knowing your numbers too.
Yeah, that's what's happening for me in Texas. I have a duplex in Denison. So I'm just breaking even. All my profit goes to property manager. I'm going to take it. I'm going to self-manage in 1 or 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
I mean, the biggest thing to me with that is, I mean, you can put up cameras, right, on the outside of the property, so you can at least watch it daily if you need to, if anything crazy happens, number one. Number two, communicate with the tenant. And there was a guy who Zuber had on, and I can't remember who it was, but he set up a system.
Rene G.
I don't remember, but the dude was sharp, man. I mean, he really was sharp, where he left a bunch of very detailed videos and instructions for the tenants. And when they came in as tenants, they understood that they would be doing most of the work that needed to be done, minors, things like that. And he had a really, really interesting system that seemed to work really well. I don't think I could do that because I'm a little bit more
yeah, he has his own
about it.
school too. His name is Rene G. I joined his tool, his school. He's going to guide me how I can self-manage my property. So I joined his school. So I'm going to implement his process.
Yeah, that I think I don't think, I mean, I think I can do it only because I've been doing it forever, and it doesn't matter where you are in the United States, a busted pipe's a busted pipe, right? And so that part is pretty simple, but his whole concept, when I heard it, I think I ended up listening to it again right afterwards because it was amazing. You know, nothing new, just the way he built the whole thing made so much sense to me.
Do you mind explaining his concept at a really high level?
I don't think I can explain it at a high level, but I can give you what I gathered out of it. What he does is he's in the military, I believe, so he can't physically be there. And so from the beginning,
let me put his name in the chat. So yeah, he's a member of school, ORAAT. So
are you talking about Rene?
Yeah, Rene. Yeah, Rene G.
Yeah, Rene. He's got a free group, and then he's got a pay group. He's awesome. He's got really good systems.
And I'm definitely curious about the self-managing because Josh and George, right? You guys are contractors, or you have significant experience. I feel like that's different versus me, right? That's not my day-to-day. So I am at a disadvantage, even though I've done a number of things. I still have limitations. So for me, wanting to self-manage is an accident waiting to happen. So I prefer a property manager. So I go on the other end just because I know I'm not the best one. But I have enough of them. I know that, hey, this is kind of crazy. Why don't we approach it this way? Or why are the costs so high? So I do push back, and I am watching costs. So it's a different.
But see, that I think there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're managing the managers properly. You know what I mean? Most people, they hear it's passive income, they buy it, they let the management company find the tenant. Turns out the tenant's terrible. They get another one, tenant's terrible. They don't vet them. They don't even understand the process of how they vet. They don't. I've had people that I've ended up. I don't charge anybody for any consultations in the Bay Area, but if somebody calls me, I go out and help them. In the last 3 years, I've had people that are paying very good money for managers that don't even do an annual inspection. We went to go look at a house. The management company didn't even know that they had 3 German Shepherds in the house. Can you imagine what that house looked like inside? You know, all the trim was beat up, all the doors were ripped up, everything was and the management company walked in as surprised as we were when we all walked in together. Oh my God. And I'm like, what have you been doing for the last 3 years? Just other than collecting a check, how do you not know that these people have dogs in it? And that goes back to me as something as simple as placing cameras on the outside of your building, writing it down on the lease and saying, hey, there's public facing cameras, front yard, backyard, driveway. If you have access to them, I have no problem with that. I'll give you the access to the cameras yourself, but they will be there. That eliminates adding a whole bunch of new people that are not on the lease. That eliminates dogs. That eliminates a whole bunch of stuff because you can actually go back and watch it at a faster speed and just kind of see what's going on out there. And yeah, it's annoying if you're the tenant, but I don't care. I'm not here to make you super happy. I'm there to protect my property, and hopefully you'll have a good experience. But that's one of the things that I can't stand is managers that don't do anything and just collect a check. And then they say, well, I don't charge much. Well, if you didn't do anything, you shouldn't charge anything.
Yeah.
You said something that's key. I've said for years. I mean, even when I hire a manager, you got to manage the manager, and it sucks. You think, why am I hiring a manager and paying for him? But if you don't, you're going to pay for it even more. So that's a great point.
I have a question for Ravi. Ravi, this is Anna Kay. Did you say you were barely breaking even in one market or something?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Where are you at?
I live in Bay Area, California, but my property is in Texas, Tennessee, Texas, place called Denison.
Okay. And which one you are not, you are break even? Is that the one in Tennessee or Texas or?
No, sorry. What I meant was Denison, Texas.
Uh-huh.
That's where I'm
Denison.
breaking even. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I invested a lot actually, like, I invested around 180K. If I see like how much I am yielding, like maybe like 0% or negative 0.001%. So I'm really
Oh my
pissed
goodness.
off.
Because of all those property tax and then insurance increases over time in
Yeah,
Texas or?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yep, yeah.
Yeah. I'm experiencing the same thing in one of my rentals in Alabama that the I have three. Two are single. They're all single family homes, but two of them are just a regular, normal, one house on a smaller parcel. But the one that I have, one of the three has a 2-car garage and has an office on the top. So it's a detached 2-car garage with a single family home. Oh my gosh, that property tax is going up and up, and then insurance is up and up comparing with the two other. And I learned my lesson that, because I live in Washington State, and when I saw this property, I thought, oh, this is perfect. It's got a 2-car garage and then office on the top and the house, and that was my mistake. So I'm gonna have to do something with that property. That's barely breaking even right now. So I just thought I was gonna ask. So
What was your mistake?
Can I ask a question, guys, real quick? When you say you're breaking even, are you guys factoring your vacancy and maintenance and the Capex, or are you just talking taxes, insurance, management fee?
I'm talking about PITI plus Capex.
So you are using a factor for some maintenance, vacancy, and Capex?
Yeah. And,
Okay, good.
the property management and everything, all inclusive.
Yeah. So yeah, if I see like, I've been owning the property last 2 years. 2023, like I had to like, do some backyard fix that I had to spend $6,000. So that, that wiped out some of my profit. In 2024, I had some vacancies. So that wiped out some profit, my profit. At least, yeah, this year that tenants are leased, that extended their lease. Hopefully, in 2025, I will break even. Yeah. So, sorry, in the sense, I will make some profit, hopefully, this year. And once I self-managing myself, I think the profit will even increase.
I'm sure you're depreciating it too, right? From your
Yeah.
W-2, so you get,
Yep.
That's a big in the early for me. I had a lot of properties, so I had a W-2, but being able to depreciate them definitely helped me get through kind of some of that growing. It takes time.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeman, I put in, somebody asked about the internet for the external cameras. For my flips that I do here in California, I put these cameras up. They are temporary, but I put it in the chat if you want to take a look at those. But I grab about 3 of those and put them on the properties that I'm flipping here. So they don't need internet. They use a SIM card. But for a rental, I would recommend something different. But this is just more for the short term play.
Yeah,
I mean, you could turn it into a long term.
I was gonna say if anybody doesn't have, any vacant unit that you're not paying for internet access, These are great cameras because, like Vincent said, they self-power. But when you have a vacant unit, especially in the West Coast, all you guys know, all these jerks can walk into your property and pretend like they live in it. So having videos of them moving in 2 days before and talking about having a contract for the last 5-6 months makes a big difference. And that type of camera is really good because you don't have to worry about installing Wi-Fi and or cellular. And so, you know, if you're in a pinch, I think those are great. Exactly like you said, rehabs, you know, something that you're either going to be dealing with temporarily or like his flip, which is you're going to own it for a while, but then move out so you don't have to spend the money on the infrastructure. Yeah. But that's a great idea, Vincent.
Yes. Yeah, I use those ones. They've worked out well so far. You still get the notification on your phone still, and it's just like a normal, you know, one you'd have around your house.
Hey, where are you flipping in California? Sorry.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Where are you flipping in California?
From the Bay Area to Sacramento. I'm up here in Northern California.
Okay. Josh, I was just Josh and well, probably Jesse too. Can you imagine 10, 12 years ago buying a camera as competent as this for $80? I mean, that was like a $3,000-$4,000 system that you had to spend on back in the days, and they were hardwired, and it was, you know what I mean? It's just so funny now that everything is so convenient.
Yeah.
You know, that back in the day, Josh, you've been doing construction forever. You remember what those systems cost back then?
Oh yeah,
those days, man. Insane. Yeah. So, moral of the story is, they're cheap enough. There's enough options where every single one of your properties should have exterior cameras, and every single one of your tenants should be made aware that they're there. Make sure that they are pointing in the direction that is not facing into the property, because that, you know, you don't want to deal with that. But any property you own, put some cameras up. I don't care. You know, it doesn't make a difference to me whether it's a single family, a fourplex, or whatever. You should have every single one of your properties. You should be able to flip your phone on and be able to see what's going on in that area. So anyway, and again, a price point should not be an issue now. You know, look at this. It's a completely self-reliant camera for $80. It's a joke.
Yeah.
That's lunch these days, you know.
You don't have to have internet in the facility to be able to access them?
Not these ones, no. They run off a SIM card and solar. So you can put them anywhere. You could the SIM card comes with a free month plan, and then you can just add it onto your cellular if needed, which is a write-off.
Yeah.
Can you access them remotely with your phone?
Oh yeah. You still get notifications. It's just like your normal camera system. I'll still get notifications of motion, and you can talk back. It's still this, same exact thing. It's got a speaker on it. It's got a microphone.
I've been wanting to find a camera that works for my duplex, because I wanted to start incorporating cameras into my properties as well.
And the thing is, it's with the actual solar panel and the actual camera itself and all the antennas, the thing is huge. So it already looks, like a deterrent already. You're not hiding it, so it's cool to just to have that as a people can still get through and buy it, but at least it's a form of a deterrent.
From your experience, Vincent, where do you find like the best locations to mount those? Because I'm gonna have to have my contractor do it. I'm gonna have to like explain it to him, and you know what that's like sometimes having to explain.
It's every property is different, but I would say it depends on how many. Well, every property is different. One depends on how many you have. So, like, I just try to get every access and exit point if you can. It's kind of hard to answer, but like for my this flip I'm doing now, or one of them is, it's got so many. I probably could use 2 or 3 more cameras for this property. It's just such a weird layout, but I would just try to get every door if you can, every garage door, every see the backyard. Majority of the windows. Just it's kind of hard to answer, but yeah, it depends on how many you get.
Yeah, I would say minimum.
Have your contractor maybe have 5 on the truck or something, and he could throw them up as needed.
But I would say at a minimum, the front and the back. The sides obviously are great, but at a minimum you should have 2, one in the back, one in the front. And again, this is if you're talking about units that are vacant, either because you're waiting on a new tenant or you're doing rehab work, having those two at a minimum are great. If you can, I would say 4 if you can get a very good view of the front and the back. And one of the things
actually I have it right here.
Yeah, one of my buddies made me this little bracket that extended out a little bit. And so instead of it being right on the wall flush, I think it was probably like 18 inches. And so we put it on an 18-inch bracket extending out so we could see all the way down the driveway. And the range of them is pretty wide. So, you know.
Are these ones that you can actually move them? You can adjust the camera and turn them and stuff? What's it look like?
Not remotely, but you can.
You can adjust them by hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the.
Because they have ones now that you can screw into a light fixture that you can actually move, but they require you to be. I think those ones require you to be connected to an internet.
This is the camera.
So and the thing I like about that one is it's big and bulky. Panel. Yeah, so people will see it right away, which is great.
Yeah, the thing's huge. Yeah.
Well, I got a question. So what if the tenant starts asking like, well, hey, are you doing this for me? I would like to have that security.
I give it to them.
Yeah. Okay.
I give them access to it. I don't care. And I tell you another thing.
Okay. Cool. That makes sense because I was just kind of like, you start throwing up cameras, then people are gonna be like, hey, like, what are you looking for? Do you not trust me? Just like I said, I'm still salty.
Val, I sell it the same way I sell my inspections. Okay. I tell them, man, I want to get in there and fix problems before they have them to you. So I sell it as a feature. And then the other thing you do is you might be able to ride their Wi-Fi access already. You just say, hey, I'll give you access. Just let me use your Wi-Fi. Most of them say, yeah. Same thing with inspections. I go in there for 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't want my property being beat up. And number 2, I want to remind them that it's not theirs. So they get me in there twice a year. And it reminds them very quickly, oh, I rent this property. I don't own it. And so you don't have that gradual entitlement that tenants get when they're in there for a while.
I think it's a sense of security for the tenant as well. Like they're now they know they're being watched, and intruders to their house or the house they're renting, there is being watched as well. So
I don't even think of it as them being watched. I just tell them, hey, and number 1, I don't know where you're at. You know what I mean? And who's in and out of the house. So I can easily see if you tell me there's a problem. Literally yesterday, I don't know about you guys' area, but Waste Management sends you a picture when the can isn't out there. So they don't have to go back because people used to argue, oh, I put the cans out and blah, blah, blah. Well, now Waste Management immediately sends you a picture showing that there were no cans available. So they're not going to go back and pick it up. So my tenant was complaining and he's like, oh, he's lying. Well, I said, okay, did you go look at the camera? And then he was like, oh, because I have my camera on his fourplex shows the street. And if I were to go back and look, it would show that he didn't put his cans out on time. So he was like, oh, well, let me go. I think my kid did it. So never mind. But initially he was demanding that I pay the extra money to go get the garbage picked up because quote unquote, he had it out there and he didn't believe the garbage truck snapshot. But then when I said, hey man, we've got the cameras, pull them up so I can send it to Waste Management. And he's like, oh, well, let me go talk to my kid. Maybe he did. So instantly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, I got to go, you guys. I got another Zoom. Great talk today.
JJ, good. Thanks for having you. Appreciate everything.
Hey, George.
Bye-bye.
George.
Yeah, if nobody has anything else, I actually have to hop off here soon as well. I have a call at 9:15. But yes, that is true. None of my long-term rentals actually have any cameras. All my single-family houses don't have any. I do it for my flips that I do.
I could see that being extremely important for flips because I don't know how many guys I've talked to have had stuff stolen out of their place.
Yeah, I do it all for the California flips, but nothing for my long term as of yet. I haven't needed it, but yeah. But awesome, you guys, everybody, such great information. This is one of our best calls. Appreciate everybody's presence today.
Yeah, it was definitely live in here today for sure.
Yeah, it was.
I'm bummed that I missed most of it. I had to deal with tenant issues.
Oh, there's the life of a landlord.
Yep, you got it. Especially self-managing.
There you
There it
go.
goes.
You guys have a good weekend. Appreciate your guys'
You
time.
guys.
All right. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
guys. Bye.
All right.